When they go low, we go high. Love will win, and kindness will win. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
Let's take a look at this play, because you are going to, whether you know basketball or not, you're going to see this play and be like, oh, I think that's a foul. And the reason why is pretty obvious, even if the coach doesn't agree. Take a look.
Face coming down, trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant 2, Ryan.
I think that is going to be a flagrant 2. There is wind up, there is follow through, there's potential for injury.
Without
Sophie
question.
Cunningham in a vulnerable position in the air.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question why.
So, the name Sophie Cunningham, recognize that from the last 2 weeks, the young woman who was brave and courageous enough to come out and say, only women belong in women's sports. Dr. Drew's favorite athlete from here on out, for sure, with the finger point scene around the world. And so now people are coming for her, including Dejanay Carrington from the Chicago Sky. Sophie, of course, plays right here. I'm in Indiana with the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark. And that was a heck of a hard foul. Dejanay is a really hard player, but that is called a flagrant 2 because it is intentional and she was not going for the ball, which is an automatic ejection, which is what happened. But did you see the bottom of the screen? She gets ejected. She goes straight to the locker room within 30 minutes, tweets, white privilege. So when these women, are we allowed to call them women? I don't know. When these women talk about not wanting to have politics or anything else come into their sport, and shame on you, media and social media, for bringing politics and all the controversy, but then you turn what is a great, easy call for you to be ejected with a flagrant 2 foul, and you call that white privilege? That is an issue. It was clear as day to anybody watching. And then the problem is, Sophie's head coach, Stephanie White, the young player who was basically assaulted there, she was asked about the foul after that game. She said, you know what? She defended Dejanay. A couple days later, she was getting crushed, you guys. She was getting crushed on social media and saying, how did you not defend your player? At every level, in any sport, a coach always defends his or her player, even if they don't agree with it, even if they think their player may be flopped. You always have your players back. This is what Sophie's coach said instead, Stephanie White.
This is more for an online community that's trying to create narratives that simply don't exist. Trying to create a fabrication or distortion of who I am, of what I'm about. Our players' success, our players' health and wellness, our players' safety is always a top priority for me. One of the things I pride myself on is my relationships with players. For those who have anything to say about the play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference. I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over and over on replay, you can see that. I didn't have that in real time.
Were there any
I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players back. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
Oh, that's kind. I like her kindness.
Yeah, I was going to say, define kindness. What's kindness? Then real quick, throw up the picture of the foul. This is a still shot of the foul. See the red circle? That is Stephanie White, who was staring directly at the two players when the foul took place. And again, you don't need 12 replays. It is as blatant as it gets. And so there's just, again, gaslighting. And then I'm mad at you for calling me out on it when I should have had my players back. And I'm going to lead with love and kindness. And you can go to hell. Put $100 on yes, Sophie Cunningham. You can earn $425 if correct. Download the Kalshi app and use code FRIENDS to get up to $10 when you trade $10. Kalshi, put your money where your prediction is. Okay, who wants it?
Well, look, flagrant fouls happen in all sports, particularly in basketball. There's flagrant fouls. And what I don't understand, the reason there's even an issue is flagrant foul happened. It was Sophie Cunningham, so she looked targeted. But, in the NBA, stuff like that happens, you move on. Nothing. People don't go to the locker room and then start talking, and that's where it got off the rail. And then the coach drove it even further. I don't understand those instincts. And by the way, the woman that committed the foul comes from a very upper middle class family and a privileged upbringing, and a very much, you would call it a silver spoon upbringing. Like, she was very privileged all the way through her life and collegiate
Her dad
career.
was an NFL player. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing, it's so bizarre to me. And to me, I'm going to just respond to this as a man. It turns us off to the whole the WNBA. It's like, what do you? This is not sport. This is not this. And then the way the coach behaved there, we are kindness will placero. F everybody, F you all. It's like that. This is like, hey, this is what we're sick of. Everybody, we're tired of this. We're tired. It's all on full display in this one act play we've seen here around Sophie Cunningham. Jill, what do you think?
I just don't understand the racism piece. I really don't. And I want to, but none of these people who are African Black Americans will have this conversation with me. I keep waiting. Van Jones was going to call me Sunday, didn't call me. I'm still waiting for Van Jones to call me. And I just want to ask humbly, like, what do I not understand? How is that white privilege? Teach it to me. Because all of you guys who are affluent Black Americans that are cherished by Americans of all colors constantly play the race card. And we don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So either make me get it or let me explain to you why we don't get it and why this is so corrosive and so divisive. I don't understand it. And obviously this woman, Dejanay, she obviously hates white people, but you're telling me she's had this great upbringing. She hasn't been disadvantaged at all. What the F am I missing? Teach me. I don't get it. And it's just going to perpetuate. And then white people bow down because of their white guilt. And that's when the coaches are cowards and weaklings. It's just, how do we get through this, team? Got to go forward.
Yeah.
Forward.
It's funny.
How?
Of all people on our show, you might think I could have some answers to those very valid questions, and I don't, because I was not raised with a silver spoon. I was just raised to not lead with color and lead with race. You lead with who you are as a human being, how you treat others, etc. And remember, because I have a Black dad and a white mother, I don't understand, and I'm privileged because I'm not all Black. And so, I mean, that's a story for another day that you guys know about me. And I think it is so hypocritical for people who, a group of people who have begged for acceptance and tolerance and equality in every way. And we are there. We have been there for a very long time, ladies and gentlemen. But for some reason, I mean, look you've got people still complaining about where are our reparations. Like, I don't understand it either.
And they're always the rich, privileged Black people. Charlemagne the God was fighting with Bill Maher. I'm like, dude, people love you. You're rich, you're famous, you're successful. It's the same thing out of LeBron. Rich, famous, successful. Same thing out of the women's mouths on The View. And you're just going, I don't really get it. You guys who are rich, famous, and successful are lecturing the white people that work 3 jobs and can't pay their bills and are drowning in debt about white privilege.
It's so deep, and obviously, I hope Van calls you back. I need to reach out to him because
he says he will. I'm waiting.
Please bring him in here. I love
I just
him.
want to understand it because I know he feels this way, and I've heard he's amazing. I've
There's a
watched him.
topic in here that I really try to get my head around. Some of my most cherished relationships are with Americans of African descent, and they have educated me and they pulled me along, and I really would struggle like you, Jill, to understand. I really want to know. And there's a point that gets sort of glossed over, and I've yet to dig into it, and it has to be explored more deeply. And they will sort of put it down as you can't really understand what it is to be Black in America. It's sort of the Black in America is sort of the top, the headline, and we need to unpack.
Okay, so
what
do you want us to do, though? No problem. You're right. I got
understand
it.
it.
Now, how would you like us to live differently? Because Like, I don't understand. What does that mean? What did you want Sophie Cunningham to do? Not shoot the shot? So what should Sophie have done differently in that moment? Just tell me what you needed Sophie Cunningham to do differently in that moment so her white privilege was not exploited. What does it mean? I really don't know. I don't know.
I don't know that they have that straight answer either. And remember, everything changed finally in 2008. Barack Obama, black president. I mean, and look, so don't talk to me about being black in America in 2026 versus, hey, when my parents got married in 1971, right after interracial marriages finally became legal, like I can't with it, and I'll debate anybody on this at any time.
Yeah.
By the way, to wrap up this story, remember, all of this began, and it was turned into the race thing with Sophie and Duvernay. All this began because Sophie Cunningham said the obvious thing, that women's sports should only be for biological women, which does what? It puts the WNBA in the spot because the WNBA refuses in their collective bargaining agreement to define a woman. So with all of this, and then two former NBA players, one is 6'8", one is 6'11", saying, okay, if it's open to anybody who says they're a woman, my career in the NBA ended, I want back in. I identify as a woman. I am going to play in the WNBA. So Royce White and Enes Kanter, two men that I know, have said, no, I'm going to play, and I've declared myself eligible for the WNBA draft. And when that happens, it's brilliant. They are backing the WNBA
They're so awesome.
into a corner. Like, unfortunately, this is what it takes. So what did the WNBA do? Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner, she says, we're gonna create a task force of all of the management team presidents, GMs, to determine what a woman is. And so they did. They all met. And as you see here, their statement said today's meeting covered a wide range of topics, including ongoing discussions on transgender athletes and the continued hate and vitriol directed at players online. We'll continue to engage, blah, 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 blah. No immediate eligibility matters affecting the league. Guys, they still, with a task force, probably of all women and a few liberal men, cannot, choose not to define a woman. Something's going to come to head here when you got two men who are pretty good basketball players saying, no, I'm a woman. I am eligible. And if they don't let them in based on the lack of definitive description of what a woman is, there will be lawsuits. Like, this is real. And I'm laughing at the fact that they needed a group to come together to define a woman and still